Hi guys, I need lighting. So it is July 14th. It is July 14th. We are literally like days away from Summit. I'm super really good. He got the light, yeah. All right. So he's distracting me. This is crazy. So happy mid-July is what I want to say. And I just have some housekeeping items. The first one is let's give it up to Michelle and Jamie. They're already at Success Club 12. I mean, they are killing it. Congratulations, guys. I think they were at Success Club, like, I don't know,
Like the second
July,
day.
yeah,
Like the
July
second
2nd
day.
or something.
July 2nd.
So congrats to you guys. Many of you are already, helping one person. So obviously, guys, keep pushing. Remember that the 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, and 22-minute hardcore are all on sale. So it's really about making sure that we're reaching out to people. And I know that the summer months are tough, but I'm not saying that Jamie and Michelle are not special, but you guys are special too. So it's just that they are 10xing all the behaviors, and that's what you guys have to do. So, oh, I'm sorry. Hello. There's someone else who wants to look. All right. Okay. My bad. So our girl Rivas over here, right? Bernie already at Success Club. Is it 8 or is it 6? It is 8, right? So it's not adding up in my back office, but I saw it was a coach you signed up, right? So congratulations. Bernie is a Success Club A. Hello. My bad. She gonna kill me one of these days. Congratulations, Bernie. She's always making sure that she's a Success Club 10. So don't be surprised if, tonight she'll be closing the day at 10. So congratulations to you for always making sure that you are helping at least 5 lives every month. And so again, make sure that you are 10xing the behaviors, because that's what it really takes during these summer months. Making sure that you're talking to more people, that you're inviting more people, that you're connecting with more people, that you are forming new friendships, more contacts, and that's what it's all about. Then I want to talk about Summit really quickly. The folks that are going to Summit, we're going to have a separate call before we leave, because I don't want to bore everybody here with all the details of Summit. But just know that we are very, very close to Summit. So you're going to be seeing a lot of posts about that coming up, these following days. Yes, it's going to be hot. So we're going to be talking about like what you guys should be packing, because practically is nothing, because it is hot in Nashville, all right? Hot. Yeah. So that's that. And then also we have the Team Cup. Team Cup is coming up in the month of August. So we want to make sure, Gladys, thank you so much for reminding me to speak about it on the call. They haven't really advertised it that much this summer, which is really strange, I gotta say. Beachbody does a really well job talking about Team Cup, and Team Cup is really it's like a friendly competition where 5 coaches get together and they help change lives. And what they do is that they have top 10. They have different tiers of prices. I'm going to I'm going to actually post that in Team Admin so you guys can see what the different price they change, every time we do it. So there's 3 tiers. One of them is an individual tier. So if you achieve Success Club, then you get it. But then the team has to have like a certain amount of points. And then there's a second tier, same scenario. If you hit Success Club and the team has a certain amount of numbers. And the third one, I believe, is like everybody has to have Success Club 10 and a certain amount of number of Success Club points. So I'll put those up, and then they have top 10 teams, right? And the top team basically goes to LA, and they do a tour in the corporate office. Obviously, they work out live with one of the trainers. They also, depending on what program is on sale next month, that's the trainer that usually gets picked, and you work out that team. 5 of the team of the members get to work out live with this celebrity trainer, and I'm sure they meet Carl and all that good stuff, right? So it's about helping us meet our goals, because Beachbody knows that the summer is tough. It's tough to help people. So they really give us the tools for us to empower others. So the rules, I'm gonna post them as well. But basically, it's 5 per team. Only one time, one lifetime diamond and above in each team. And we're blessed to have many diamonds on this team. So we're gonna have to pick teams, and I want everybody on the team to be in a team. Why? Because it's going to help you help other people. It's going to help you reach your goals. It's going to help you, achieve financial goals. It's going to help you, just basically just reach your goals. So I'm going to be posting all of that up, and I believe we start registering on July 18th, which is Monday. That's when the first day is. So start thinking about people you want on your team. Reach out to these people. And then the last day to register is July 31st. And then it kicks off on August 1st. So I'm excited. I'm excited to, do this again. And if you guys have any questions, just post them on the post that I'll put up on Team Advent. So sorry that my rant on housekeeping went on and on and on. But all right, so without further ado, let me make it a speaker view, and then we will give it up for our girl. Oh wait, I need to go find her first, and I'll mute her. Where is she?
Gabby,
Oh, there she is. God, I couldn't find you. Look at her.
Wow, so I don't recognize you.
Listen, Shalene got nothing on me. This is proper lighting.
I'm really excited to introduce to you guys, not like you guys don't know Bone Crusher over here, right? Our girl, CiLo, Cindy Lopez, our diamond coach, mama of 3. Sorry, that's my bell. And our beautiful, look at her. She got all prettied up for us. I'm excited.
For you guys. It's for you guys. Only for you.
Yes. And I'm excited to hear everything she has to share. So take notes. We might cry. Babe, give me some tissue. And I'm excited, Cindy. She is going to be talking about finding your passion and really digging deep within us to find that. So Cindy, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. So not only am I happy to be here, but I'm honored and very humbled to speak to you on purpose. So before I go any further, purpose is the reason for which something is done or created for your existence, or for something, or the purpose for why you exist. So before I go into it, I just want to say a very quick prayer. So Heavenly Father, thank you for everything you've given us. Please help speak through me. Also, please give or make this my mess somebody's message. Please give us clarity, purpose, unfog our minds, and also show us our journey and where we should be at in our point of our lives. Please make this a very productive meeting, and we give you everything, our journey, our business, our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so who am I? I've been a Beachbody coach for about a year. I am a mother of 3. I'm a single mom of 3. I work in corporate America. I am right now quality manager for All the Foods, a CPG company. And I have a very dynamic, I have 2 phones, 2 cell phones, one that always has to be on because corporate or my job demands it to. I don't work 40 hours. I work a minimum of 50 to 60 hours. And I also work Beachbody. So I know how hard and difficult this journey, our business can be, especially if this is not your full-time job and you're trying to hustle and do two things at once. I thought as I was preparing this presentation that my journey started 3 years ago. But then as I started to reflect, my journey started, when I was born, as I grew up, and I'm not going to bore you because we only have a half an hour, but I just want to hit the major points. I was born in El Salvador. We came here when I was 4 years old. My entire family migrated to Paterson, New Jersey, which is similar to Newark, very, very ghetto, low income, and very hard, right? When you have to watch your back all the time. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. It was 5 of us. I slept in the same bed with my sister. My brother dormed with us in the same bedroom. We were on food stamps, on public assistance. And I remember very clearly every time I had to go to the grocery store or I was with my mom and she had to go food shopping, how embarrassed I felt when she had to pay with food stamps. So it's something that I don't advocate or promote, but it's something that makes me who I am now and also formed my purpose. So don't think that your purpose is going to be set throughout your life. Your purpose, depending on where you are, will evolve to your circumstances, who you are, your standards, what makes you tick at that point, and also the people that surround you. But as I went through high school, I had to deal with walking to school. I got jumped. I fought boys. I beat up boys. I did all that. And my purpose was to get out of the ghetto, not to be a product of my environment. Don't believe that we are a product of our environment. That to me, excuse my language, is bullshit. We are a product of the environment and the state of mind we create for ourselves, who we surround ourselves, who we believe we can be. It's human tendency that who you believe you are, you will become. So of course, if you have poverty mentality, you're going to have that poverty mindset, those poverty actions. So don't ever believe the story that you can't, because I heard it throughout my life and I know that you can. So eventually, I went to college, and in college I worked 3 jobs, always hustling. I was a resident assistant. I taught physics. I was also a cashier at a clothing store at the mall. I would get home at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and have to take the train home by myself. All those things that I did because I refused to go home without a degree or go back to the life that I lived. My mother tried, and my parents tried to always give me the best. However, we were very limited and constrained financially. And my purpose at that point was to graduate and make something of myself. Eventually I graduated with a BS in engineering. I landed a great internship, which landed me a full-time job right out of college. I became a mom at the age of 24, and I went to grad school to have my MBA as a single mom. Now, my purpose at that point, when I was pursuing my MBA, was to give my daughter what my mom couldn't, and of course, to be able to support her and not ever be on public assistance like my mom was. I'm not knocking my mother's hustle, because it's a reality and it makes me who I am. But I know that we can strive to be more. I wanted more. I wanted to give my daughter more. So eventually, I continue. I work in corporate America. And just to speed it up a little bit, because I know we only have a half an hour, to 3 years ago, that's when my true test really occurred. At that point, I had a family of 6. I was pregnant with my 3rd child, my youngest. Her name is Kaylin. And at 3 months, I went through a very traumatic separation. And one moment I had a family and the next moment I was a single mom. It spiraled down and it spiraled down very quickly. I ended up in a very, very dark place. I felt alone, even though I have a big family. I felt alone. I looked at myself in the mirror and I constantly said, how can a successful corporate, woman that runs multi-million dollar business, who operates and tells, I could shut down a factory at the drop of a dime, I can't hold my family together. So of course you start being your worst enemy. You start believing those things that are happening to you. So I'll spare you the telenovela, but a lot of things happened throughout those 3 years, and it was a constant heartache. It was a constant struggle. But during this time, as life was happening to me, I had to go in every day, pregnant, into corporate America to lead people, to run a business. That's what I was getting paid for, I was expected to lead people regardless of the dark place that I was in. I had to learn to fake it until I made it. I had no option. I was pregnant. I had to, support my household, provide for my kids. I went from 2 incomes down to 1. I had to figure it out, and very quickly. And for many of us who are moms, that when you're pregnant, you have every kind of ache you can imagine. You have morning sickness, everything bothers you, hormones are blazing. So it's not a pretty stage in your life because there's things that you cannot physically control. But at this time, I really felt that God had to, he had to break me in order to make me. As I healed, I still continued to go through the motions, and my purpose continued to evolve. At this point in my life, I was in survival stage. Keep performing in dog-eat-dog corporate America, so I wouldn't lose my job and lose the ability to provide for my family, my household. So it was survival mode. I wanted, and every morning I wanted to crawl under a rock, and I wanted to retreat. I didn't know how day in and day out I was going to make it, However, I got up every morning and rolled out of bed, not only to support my family and not to lose it all and go back to, the hood and being on public assistance because now I had 3 kids. But my greater purpose then was to show my kids that nothing should keep you down. I had at that point children watching me. You still, your children watch you at all the time. When you least think that they're watching you, they're vigilant. And there was one time that I was working out and I just said out loud, I don't want to work out. I don't want to continue. And my son said, Mommy, eat that frog, because he's heard that podcast in the car. So that always reminds me that your kids are always watching. And I knew at this point, my children were watching me. What was Mommy going to do? How was she going to handle? How was she going to survive? I also have, at that point, she was 13, a teenage daughter. One day she may be at that point in her life where, she goes through separation or divorce. And I wanted her to know that she was a strong woman, that she could go through it, that she didn't need anyone but herself and her mindset, her heart, to be able to pursue whatever she wanted. I wanted to show her that her mommy was strong, that I am a strong woman. And I did show her that. And I still, every day, it's a challenge, it's a struggle to be that you want your children to aspire to be. So as, during this time, one of the most, I guess, the greatest benefit, and, we belong to a very jealous God. I was separated from church. I was raised in church, but didn't go. I think the last time I went after this, prior to this, was maybe 10 years before. So God knew that I had separated myself or distanced myself so far away that he said, I got to reel her back closer to me. And I did become closer to God, made him, my center of my household and my heart. And more importantly, I reflected and I learned from my separation and my darkness. You know, he helped me heal. But during this time, I always felt a void and incomplete. You know, something was missing. You know, I found my joy in him, my purpose in helping others. I found, you know, Beachbody. I found Happy. I found Team Advent. You know, I found you guys. And I know that it's not easy. Take it from me. I fall asleep with my laptop at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to do what I have to do. I turn my shoulds into musts, you know, because of my purpose. But I still had to search for my purpose. It's an evolving process. And I will never tell anyone not to be human and not to mourn, cry, or feel. You know, we're human. We are made out of flesh and blood. We are meant to live, but we're also meant to fail, because that's what's going to make us who we are. But when things go wrong, as they sometimes or always will, you know, when death strikes, when jobs are unstable, when you feel like your world is crumbling, that's when you need to be your strongest. And I had to find my purpose, you know, my fuel, my strength. And I just want to share with you before I move on, you know, what my purpose is. And up until a couple weeks ago, let me see if I could share my screen. Okay. Share screen. All right, guys, can you see this? Okay. So this is my purpose. So, you know, spending time with my kids, enjoying them. But up until a couple weeks ago, I thought it was that your children. But I had to dig a little deeper, because I had to own the fact that I wasn't where I need to be or should be in my business, and what I said was my purpose. So instead of blaming others and woe is me kind of mindset, I said, well, what am I not doing? You know, my children are my purpose, but what is it about my children? And it was about maybe a month ago that my son saw me on the laptop at night. He was watching a movie on Netflix, because he's like a little old man. He loves to be in his pajamas watching Netflix. And he said to me, Mommy, why are you always on your laptop? Like, why can't you just watch, you know, whatever he was watching? And that broke my heart, because it was like, wow, I don't want him to think that life is all about being on your laptop and working, because it's not. And then 2 weeks ago, I installed a smart system that has cameras so I can see my children while they're home from summer. And I was sitting, and it breaks my heart that I have to see my children from a camera, and I can't be with them because I have to go into the office to take care of business. You know, so besides knowing that my children are my purpose and providing for them is my purpose, what makes me happy is being with them, spending time with them, living life with them, seeing their, you know, their cries, their laughs, you know, taking care of the boo-boos. You know, I had to dig deeper, because hearing my son saying that and seeing myself pathetically looking at my children through a camera made me realize, you know, there's more to life than what I'm doing right now. And I had to, you know, put the rubber to the floor, to the road, and say, I have to hustle and take my business and my purpose to a higher level. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to minimize this. Okay, Gabby. Okay, so I had to find my purpose, and I knew that the purpose that I had to find for myself wasn't enough. It was too superficial. It means a lot, right? It's the core of my existence, but it wasn't enough to make me hustle, to make me have that 10X mentality. You know, in order for me to want to have that extraordinary life, you know, I had to dig deeper. So how do you become armed? How do you find that true sense of purpose? You know, when it scares you, but at the same time it makes you happy, then you'll know You got it. You got it right. You're close to your purpose, because your purpose will scare you. It will intimidate you. It will take you outside of your comfort zone. But that's when you have to dig deeper and root yourself and ground yourself on your purpose. So what I did, and if you haven't found that deep sense of purpose, and maybe you have it, and maybe you just have to dig a little deeper to give you that fuel and that RPM that you need to drive. You know, you are in control and you're driving at this moment, but do you have enough fuel to take you as far as where you want to go? So dig for who you are. You know, what is it that makes you tick? What makes you feel alive? What lights that fire, that spirit within you? You know, reflect. When things go wrong, meditate, reflect on that. What can you learn from it? You know, something that, you know, a lot, I think Darren Hardy always says, you know, why don't people strive to be better? And it's because we settle. We don't raise our standards the way that we should raise them. We settle for an ordinary life instead of having an extraordinary life. You know, in order for you to have an extraordinary life, you need to have an extraordinary state of mind. You know, a deep sense of belief, a deep sense of purpose that makes you want to cry every time you think of it. It's the reason why you get up every morning and do what you have to do. Unfortunately, sometimes we do settle, you know, and it's time for us to just move our mindset to not settling anymore and realizing that our families and our purpose is worth it. So another step that I started to do is I'm not thinking so much and over analyzing it. I'm doing more. You know, I'm daring to take risk. I'm daring to try. I'm daring to fail. I remember the first month that I became a coach and I didn't hit Success Club. I remember telling Gabby, I'm not cut out for this. This is not for me. And why? Because I had the fear of failing. You know, I'm in corporate America. I am groomed to succeed and hustle and compete, you know, with men every day. So I was afraid to fail, you know, and I realized and I was like, oh, damn, you know, that's my fear, is that I'm afraid to do this because I don't want to fail, you know, but you have to make sure that not only are you honest, but you're aware of where you are and what season of your life you're in or what season of your business you're in. Because, guys, clarity is power. You know, when you have clarity, you have the power to change things. You know, turn those shoulds to musts. You know, do things that like your life depended on, like being a product of the product, working out. You know, pretend like you can't go to sleep until your workout's done, until you drink your Shakeology, until you do your invitations. Now, you know, you find a way. When you really want something, you find a way to make it happen. So, guys, this is what I'm going to leave you with. So, are you going to live your purpose out? You know, when life happens, because it will, you know, will you crawl under a rock and let life pass you by? Or will you put on your battle gear? Let me see if I can tie this up. Will you put on your battle gear and do what you have to do for your purpose, for your kids, for your family? Because I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. But like I told Gabby, I'm not quitting, and nor should you. A lot of times we do think that we take the easy way out, and then we live with doubt saying, should have, could have. So I just want to leave you with this. What if? And I'm going to try to share my screen again. As you could tell, I am not a pro at this. All right, Gabby, so how do I stop share?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Sorry, guys, I had everything set up for you guys.
You have to share your screen again.
Okay, so I'm trying to find. Okay, it's coming.
She said, you have big hair. You
All right,
gotta
just
do
give me
something
one
about it.
second.
I grew up thinking that I couldn't be blonde.
Pause it and then share.
Okay. Okay, so share screen. Can you see it? It says Anthony Robbins, What If?
I can see it. Open it more. Can you open it? I think the green would be, oh, there, yeah. That.
Okay.
There you go.
What if? What if problems are always gifts? What if every single problem really was a gift in your life? What if every problem you ever had was life happening for you, not to you? What if everything in our lives was guided? What if everything in our life was divine timing? Everything. Even the pain. In the darkest place, you feel like all is lost. When you think there's no way to turn it around, remember this. Victory is near.
I would like to thank you for reminding me that it's not what's inside, it's about your spirit. It's about what you get.
Victory is so near.
All right, guys, I love this video because it always inspires me when I go through challenges. And I do sometimes want to throw my hands up. I always think about, you know, my purpose, but more importantly, where would I be, you know, if I wasn't here? You know, do I have a greater sense of purpose than what I'm doing now? And I know that when I'm not doing Beachbody, you know, I feel like something is missing in my life. You know, I like to hear people saying, I've lost 10 pounds, you know, or Cindy, I need your help. You know, that really, really ignites me. And even though I don't have a horrible job in corporate and I like what I do, I don't love it. You know, I love doing what I do, and that's what we need to find is what we love. So in closing, you know, I just pray that you have the courage to find your purpose, to follow your heart, you know, have the courage to take risks, you know, have the courage to fail, because we will fail, you know, but have the courage to get up every single time and make it further than your last attempt. You know, I pray that you never quit, not on yourselves, not on your purpose, not on your family, not on those that really do need us. You know, God has given us one life. You know, we need to pave the way for others. You know, life gives us, or life pays us what we ask of it. If we ask for ordinary, life will give us ordinary. If we ask life to give us or pay us extraordinary, you know, it will give us that. But it all depends on, you know, our purpose, our will, our state of mind. You know, the last thing I have to say is success is not that of the weak-hearted. You know, it's a journey. It's not easy. And if it was easy, we would have tons of Beachbody coaches being 15-star diamond. You know, I always, you know, joke around, but I always say I'm going to knock Melanie Mitro out of the #1 spot. You know, but that's what I'm aspiring to be. I'm aspiring to be more than just, you know, losing rank, being an emerald, going back to ruby. You know, I want to have that stability, but only I can do that for myself. So, you know, I pray for you, and I hope that you guys do have that courage to continue and not quit regardless of what happens, because like Anthony Robbins says, you know, what if everything in life is divine timing, even pain, you know, and pain is not here to break us. It's here to make us, you know, it's going to make us who we are, but more importantly, it's also going to shape and mold our future. That's all I have. I hope it was beneficial. And I guess I don't know if you want to do questions and answers or we're over time.
Wow.
Powerful.
That was awesome, Cindy.
Thank you. I'm sorry I was all over the place.
No, I thought it was awesome. I love how you shared your story, because exactly, you know, your journey is what has made you Cindy, you know. And I love how you said, first of all, I love how you started with a prayer. I appreciate that. That was amazing. And also, I love that you shared, you know, that God was, you know, pulling you back in. And I feel that Team Advent, and when we spoke the first time we spoke, right, it was through a connection of a friend. You shared just a tiny bit of your story, and today I hear more of it. And I know that that's not all of your story because you condensed it, but I knew then that you belonged on this team, and today I know, you know, even stronger that you belong on this team, just like every member of Team Advent, because as you said, you know, and we always say this, you know, on our chat and all our calls, that God has a purpose for each and every one, and it's not by mistake or by luck that you ended here on this specific team, because there are a ton of teams on, you know, on Team Beachbody, and I'm sure that everyone here, one way or another, is it connected to another coach, maybe on another team, but you belong here. And, you know, and I'm humbled by, you know, you opening up completely with us. And I know that many pieces of your story are hard to share. So thank you for that. So I'm going to open it up for comments, questions from the team to Cindy. And by the way, I love how you closed it. I wish you told me. I would have joined you.
So Christina Delgado does one. I do my gluten-free woodchuck heart cider. It's so good.
Sorry, I was, you know, I always have questions, comments. I was just trying to glam it up. I was trying to glam it up, but listen, Cindy has set a new bar for all future speakers now, so FYI. Cindy, I have chills over your call. I really, really do. You know, and I think it comes at a great time because I know a lot of us fell off the wagon. You know, let's talk what things are. Because when I joined, it was a different energy than what I'm seeing now. And I'm not saying it negatively. I'm saying that I think everyone's in the same boat. And instead of wanting to jump off the boat, we should be like, no, let's find the lifesavers, let's find the plugs, and let's close them up, and let's move on. Let's keep sailing this ship. You know, and Matilda here, it's bedtime for someone, so she just likes participating on her Beachbody calls. So love it, Cindy. You know, a lot of the top coaches always remind us that we should commit to be here for at least a year to give ourselves a chance. But now I think it's evolving more to give yourself at least 3 years. Because in 3 years, you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. You're going to get to know people within your team a lot better. And you never, like Gabby said, you never know who you're going to connect with. And that person's going to be able to lift you up. So with your story, I don't like getting into a lot of my family background. I just, it's not for me to judge what my parents decided to do or decide not to do. But I can relate to yours so much more than what I thought I could. So thank you so much for having the courage to share it, because not everybody will admit that they were on food stamps at one point. So, and Matilda wants her shoes.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Cindy. It really, very, very inspiring. I did have a question on how you're now balancing everything. That you decided to take a step back from being on your computer all the time to go ahead and balancing it out. So, it could have been that you did share, but of course we were either putting on shoes or taking off shoes here. So
Yeah.
I know
So
you could.
Yeah, so how I started balancing is I started to look for inefficiencies or things within the course of the day that are not helping to contribute to my success, whether it's Beachbody or work. So I started to use crock pot more. The meal prepping on Sunday helps. So I choose 1 or 2 meals and make multiple meals. Right, so then the cooking portion of it is there because I'm not spending money outside. And I also started to put the kids down at a specific time. You know, even though they're not always going to be in, asleep, they have a routine. So that way I know that I can start my office hours from 9 to 11. And I try to be more efficient at work because I know that 9 to 11 are my office hours. It comes down to discipline. So I also started, the Miracle Morning has helped me a lot. I always say, eat that frog. I love Eat the Frog because it's put me into a better state of like time management and realizing, guys, we waste a lot of time. If you look and you start writing down, like Darren Hardy says, what you do and how much time you spend in a week or in a 2-week bucket, we spend a lot of time on, excuse my language, I hope no kids are hearing, on bullshit. Things that really don't add value to our lives. They just constrained us and hold us back. So if you start writing down, and that's what I started doing, okay, how much do I spend on social media? Not Beachbody related, right? How much time do I spend going out with my friends or shopping or doing this or going to the store three times because I don't have a shopping list? You'll find a lot of inefficiencies in your day, in your week, and in your month that you can start just trying to sift through. So like I said, the crock pot is one of my best friends. Also planning and writing down what I need to do so I keep on track and not get sidetracked. Because before someone may say, oh, can you do this with me? I would say, sure, not realizing I have 10 important things to do for that night. So making sure you're able to say no and have your calendar. Calendar is very important. Say, I can't do it Tuesday, but I can do it Thursday, because at the end of the day, right, we still need to keep connected to who we are, our families, our PTAs, our soccer games, and everything else that happens, because we live as, jugglers and also people holding all these spinning dishes that not one of them can drop. I'm as a single mom, and I think Jamie is a single dad, and we have, people that even though you may have a spouse, they're working different hours than you. You're in it by yourself sometimes and you feel alone. So how do you keep those dishes spinning? Just start sifting out those inefficiencies in your life. So instead of going to the store 5 times during a week, you go once and you're prepared for the week. So now you've gathered a couple hours in your day. But definitely a calendar has helped me a lot. Usually a pencil, because it's going to be scribble, scrabble. You're going to be erasing and juggling things around. So making sure that you also, write things in there, no matter how small you think they are, write them in there. And personal development, I do personal development at least 1 hour a day. And when I feel like I am spiraling into darkness, I go full blast and I do 2 every moment I have. I just start blasting, personal development, Grant Cardone, 10X. I like doing 10X right before I do invites, because pretty much, I think that I bought this black thing for today's conference call, but I think that before I start invitations, I'm just going to put it on because I'm going to go in it, So motivate yourself. Find what works for you, pretty much. Anything else? I know you have more.
Yeah, I want to say something.
I have a
Hi, Puppy.
My son does too. I am like the biggest procrastinator, like the biggest procrastinator. And I gotta tell you, I listened to like 3-4 chapters of the Miracle Morning.
No, 4, 5.
Four, whatever. And the fact that, and I haven't finished it all because I listened to it, and you know what I grabbed from that is amazing. That just for me, that reason I started to work out, or at least just get up at 5:30 in the morning when I don't really need to be at work or do anything till like really 9 o'clock is just been like just like a godsend. I'm not rushing to do anything. It just organizes myself, and I gotta tell you that for me in the last 2 weeks has been like really, really big. So PD, I gotta tell you, is, I know Jamie said it last week, is key, because there's so many things that you think you know but you don't know, and then you start listening and you start realizing, and then you want to, you try to implement them in your life. And that book, and I've read a lot of books since we started doing this whole Beachbody thing, but that book has really made me realize that I need to just get up a little bit earlier and just decompress for like about a half an hour with nobody, no sound, no nothing. Just, I don't meditate, but just not listening to anything, it's just really been helpful. So Cindy, right on, has been huge for me in the last 2 weeks.
Yep. And meditating, Gladys says this is another thing too for everyone, especially if you have a very dynamic and chaotic lifestyle. Meditation, even if it's for 1 minute, will make a world of a difference. A minute goes by like this, but you'll see that it helps you ground yourself, because I know what it's like to have a conference call, you're feeding kids or doing this, the doorbell is ringing, and you feel like you're losing your mind. Take that minute or the meditation time to just ground yourself, because it's healthy for you too. Americans, especially women, the number one cause of death is heart attacks. It's not breast cancer. It's not things that you would think are obvious. It's because of stress and anxiety, because as women, we feel like we're the primary caregivers. In other instances, like Jamie is a primary caregiver. It's a lot of pressure besides crap happening to you. You have to live life, and life will happen, and it's not always positive.
I have a question.
What's up, Jamie?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Excellent job. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. You're welcome.
If you had one area that you could improve on, what would it be? Whether it's personal development, working out, whatever it is. But if you had one thing you could fix or do a better job on, what would it be? Thank you.
So I'm prepared not because I was expecting this question, it's because I've done a lot of reflection, and I've taken my lack of action on, I guess I've taken accountability for my business and for myself, right? So that's step number one, is awareness, raising your awareness. But I would have said discipline up until I started doing a Miracle Morning. Now discipline, I pretty much got that nailed, but I would say consistency, because it's very, very easy as a single parent, or, like I said, when you have a chaotic lifestyle, to do what you need to do every time, every day, because stuff always is happening. There's a lot of deterrence. There's a lot of challenges. Kids get sick and you have to rush them to the doctor, and there goes the dinner you had planned, or whatever it may be. So I would say keeping consistent is one of the areas that I know for myself is always going to be a challenge. It's an area that I will strive to definitely improve on. And part of the consistency portion of it is definitely, I can say my workout is strong, my Shakeology is 100% my PD, but my biggest area of opportunity for Beachbody is definitely the invitation process. So, doing that every day at a certain time is very, very difficult. And if I know I can't do it, is knowing that I must do it and saying, well, I'll do it in my lunch hour, or I'll do it, while I'm cooking, or I'm doing something else. But making your shoulds to must is part of your consistency.
Awesome question.
Yeah. I want to add something.
That was a good one.
Piggyback on what CiLo said about consistency. You know, I look around about me being the back office, and I support my wife Gab and everything she do. She's the face of the team. She does everything what she does in regards to recruiting and just being the face of the team. And what I've seen this last month has been crazy. And what I mean by that is that Gab's been like consistent, day in, day out for the last 27 months. And this month, the majority, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the majority of her success points has been purely on referrals, meaning nobody that she's really helped this month has been somebody that she totally did not know of. And it's sort of like, you know, people coming to her who either left the business and came back, or people that oh, my friend had mentioned you, and you know they've lost so much weight, or whatever it may be. And it's ridiculous because I'm like looking at her and I'm like, wow, you know, this is one of the months she's made Success Club 10 for 27 months, but this is one of the months that she's made Success Club 10 so early in the month, and it was purely on referrals. So as a spouse, you know, and some of you who may not have a spouse, but someone who's supporting you, I say stick through it. Stick through it where it seems like, you know, shit, and I'm being real because that's just the way I speak, that shit's just like, nothing's going on. And you're like, am I wasting my time, or am I doing this? And it's like all of a sudden now, and all I keep on saying to her is, babe, you deserve everything that's happening to you right now because you paid your dues and showing up day in, day out, monthly, and just going back to what CiLo was saying about being consecutive is, you know, consistent is if you just show up, and what we've always said is just be here a year later, and so much has happened a year later that is just ridiculous that I'm watching her and the conversations, and I'm at work and she's texting me and she's like, look at this text. And it's just people hitting her up all of a sudden when she was reaching out to people. All of a sudden now it's people reaching out to her. And that's what I tell you, I'm seeing it, I'm living it through her, that just show up every single day and you will become that person in your circle of the person as, oh, you know, I need to lose weight, or I need to become healthy, or I have diabetes. Because that's what's a big thing that's been around us lately. I have the diabetes, or my husband has diabetes, you know, and I see what you're doing. I need to get it. It's just, it's ridiculous. And I got to tell you, it's just like a snowball effect that all of her Success Club points this month have been from people who contacted her as opposed to her reaching out, purely referral. So I got to tell you, it's this momentum that we're starting to see. It's just stick around, trust yourself. What you're doing is helping people, you know, live a healthy and a fulfilling life. And the conversation that I was having with, you know, with Ada over the weekend at Gabby's birthday, is just like people are like, you know, they don't know, they need to be educated. And this is a good thing. This is really a good thing that people really need to realize and be educated that they can live a healthier life, and they just need guidance. And that's all it is. And then all of a sudden, this thing is starting to snowball. And this is like, whoa, this is becoming huger or bigger than any of us. And it's really, people need it. So I just wanted to express my 2 cents in that. Keep going. All you guys have mad respect for everybody here. And before you know it, you know, people are just going to be contacting you to help them. And it's noble. And it's good. It's praiseworthy. I think that's really good. I just want to add that.
The other thing I want to add is what Gary said. I think I shared that video. I'll bump it in Team. Is that, you know, we say be here a year later, right? Because a lot of people say, I'm going to give this a shot for 3 months. But I mean, can you really build a business in 3 months? Right? And can you build a business in 1 year? And he says that, you know, he says that for 10 years consecutively, he had his head down, you know, doing the activities that got him to where he is today. And when people, right, we don't see what happens behind closed doors. We only see when people are shining, just like, when the boxers in the ring, right? We see them boxing in the ring, and we see the winner, shine there, but we don't know what took place behind the scenes with both these, fighters. They trained every single day. They were training for hours and hours and hours, but all we see is that fight, that whatever amount of hours. I don't even know what does it take, an hour? Who knows? Whatever. 20 minutes? But you know what I mean, right? The boxing. But my point is, you guys know, I'm not a sports person, but you guys know you guys know what I mean, right?
I'm embarrassed because I am.
But whatever. But you know what I mean? They shine during that time in the ring. So when Gary talks about the fact that people started to reach out to him, just like, all these artists, all these famous people, you start to listen, about them or hear their name more often. You're like, oh my God, they're so lucky. Look at them, blah, blah, blah. And when he started to get those emails and those calls and those texts, and people hitting him up like, hey, remember me? I'm from high school. Remember me? I'm from whatever, the hood or whatever. You're so lucky. And he was like, you can put that luck shit in your pocket, because he was literally hustling, when everybody was hanging out on the weekend, when everybody was hanging out in the summertime, young, he was hustling. And that's what it takes. It's not going to take a year. It might take you 2 years. It might take you 3 years, but you've been doing your job for how long? I know that in corporate America, I have been in corporate America for almost, over 10 years. And it took me like working crazy hours, 50, 60-hour weeks, and I still got paid. But at least I'm working this every day, and I am giving myself that rest day now. But I'm working this every single day, as with the exception of that 7th day. And guess what? I'm doing it for myself. And that's how I feel, like, why is it that I used to bend myself over backwards for somebody else? And I never got recognized the way we get recognized here with Beachbody. But I'm building a legacy. I'm building a dynasty for my family, and no one will ever be able to take this away from me. So I'm so empowered by your story, Cindy, because I literally connect with you on so many different levels, because I also, my family raised us on food stamps and welfare and Medicaid and all of that. And I do remember, as you grow older, you go to the supermarket with your parents, and your mom is trying to pay with that. You'd be like, can I wait for you outside? I don't want to put my son through that. And I am blessed today, that we are, we have a humble home, and that we have the necessities that we have because our parents sacrificed. And so those are the things that we have to do as adults and as parents, for the ones that are parents, or future parents, because do you want your kid to live your life? And that's what you have to ask yourself. Is that what you want for your kid? Is that what you want for them, right? Or do you want a better life? And a better life is not just going to college anymore, Unfortunately, it's not cutting it anymore. So I love that you talked about that. So thank you. Thank you.
And I think just another add in terms of what you just mentioned in purpose. We all have different walks of life. We all have our experiences, our pain, our hurt, our downs, our ups. And no one, would be presumptuous of whomever to tell anyone what their purpose is. You have to find that for yourself. No one can absolutely tell you what's in your heart and what's in your soul, but yourself. And unfortunately, no one will do this work for you, and no one will find your purpose. So it's time for you to dig deeper. If you think you have a purpose, but it needs a little bit more fine tuning, take that time for yourself to get to know who you are a little bit, on a deeper level. So I just I heard that, no one can tell you your purpose but yourself. But a lot of times we don't take that time to dig deeper, to find that sense of life, because life is not supposed to be just about work and being miserable. It's about enjoying what God has given us.
Yeah, go ahead.
To add to that consistency, if you ever read The Compound Effect, and everything that I read it, and I work in corporate America. Gab's doing her business that I'm supporting her in, and Daryl Hardy talks about give it a valid, consistent 25 months. And you got to take your mindset away from that microwave mentality, that lottery mentality. And the things, Gab's 27 months. And when I read this book, it was, I don't know, almost 8 months ago or 9 months ago, if not more. And lately I've been finding myself, Gab, she hits me up or she texts me and I'm like, wow, this guy, obviously he did a book, and he knows what he's talking about, because the things that we are seeing, like her and I, besides the team, just like I said, people hitting her up or just making moves in the business, the referrals, what he refers to, if you've read it, Big Mo referencing momentum in your business. Like when you're working out or you're doing something, you need momentum. You just can't start doing it for 2-3 days and expect shit to happen. You need to build that momentum up. And he talks significantly about Big Mo. And Big Mo is always, and all like the last couple of weeks I've been saying to Gab is Big Mo is happening right now. He said 25 to 26 months of valid, honest, consecutive, consistency. And that's what she's been doing. Hence why she's been doing Success Club 10 for the last 27 months. And we're seeing, she's seeing, reaping the benefits of that momentum starting to happen. And it's just amazing. And so, like I said, as a spouse from the outside in, like I said, she's in the daily trenches every day. I'm not taking credit for anything because I have a job and I do my own thing. Like I said, and I come back and have to, hear what she's doing. I'm seeing it firsthand. If I wasn't seeing it, I wouldn't be sitting here and saying, yeah, let's keep doing this, because I would be like, no, get a job. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, because we don't live in a cheap area. And she is like, I'm just like, wow. And every time she says she wants to retire me, every day more and more, I believe it, that's going to happen. And I'm not going to need to work because everything that she's doing and what this business is offering us and providing us. So give it that, give it a valid, push for everyone who wants to do that, and keep going, because I'm living it right now and I'm seeing it, and I fully support it. So I just wanted to add that.
But make it a real consistent, I don't know if everyone here watched Summer Tucker video. It was intense, where she says, when people reach out to me to mentor them, she says, how long have you been consistent for, right? And people are like taken back because they're like, like they don't even know how to respond to that question, right? And many of us, when we start, and I'm guilty. I don't remember. I think it was Rudy I was telling this to on my birthday, that when I first started, I was made it my business to hit Success Club 10, right? To help at least 5 people. And when I hit 10, I was done. I closed shop. Like literally, not that I wasn't talking to people, but like if someone came to me, it was because they came to me, and maybe I hit, and I'm not talking the beginning months because I was hustling then, but once I got, my pipeline every month and I got 10, I might be 12, maybe 15, but it's because the extra people will come to me and then I will hustle again at the beginning of the month. And then until I really understood the potential of the business, I was like, holy crap, I like played myself for many months where I was just hitting the bare minimum, which was 10. And obviously the bare minimum is helping 3 people. But for me, the bare minimum was 5 people. And I would hit it. And then I would be like chilling on the couch, watching TV. That's not me anymore, because I know the potential of the business. And so if you're going to give it 25, consecutive months, you got to be showing up 6 days a week. And I'm not talking about, today and maybe Thursday and maybe Sunday again. I'm talking about Monday through Saturday, every single week, because you are not going, don't ask yourself, why you're not hitting Success Club. Don't ask yourself why you're not at the income that you want if you're not doing it consistently. And if you're not hitting your goals by talking to 3 to 5 people, then you got to check yourself and you got to talk to 10 people. And you got to talk to whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes, that's what you got to do. So a lot of times we ask ourselves, Gab, how many people do I need to talk to in order to hit whatever? Why does it matter? Just talk to people, talk to as many people as you have to talk to, right? In order to meet your goals. So if last month it was 10 and this month it's 100, then whatever it takes, right? So if you're going to give it an honest shot, then do it. And like Cindy said, you're going to fall on your face and you're going to fail, but failure is what's going to get you to success. So just make sure that, when it gets tough, you don't throw in the towel. A lot of people are doing that. It's summer. I'm talking to people and nobody wants to respond to me. A lot of people are just ignoring me. That's the nature of this business. I've been unfriended. I've been, ignored. I've been hung up on, like whatever. I've been like, you asked me, I've lived it, right? But I'm still here. That didn't break me. That just made me stronger. So go ahead and, keep pushing. Don't find it. Those are just excuses. Just keep pushing and do what you got to do. If this is really what you want to be doing.
I want to add one thing. And you guys are probably shocked, like, whoa, the back office is talking a lot. And Cindy, you brought up a topic that just really, I've been living it and I've been seeing it. And I don't want to say this is a personal situation that I want to bring up, but I don't mean to put Michelle on the spot. But, Michelle was a coach initially that I remember wholeheartedly many months ago that I took Gab to the mall to go meet Michelle. And I met Michelle. And Gab was super excited about Michelle. And forgive me, Michelle, if I'm putting you on the spot here. But like I said, this is really, and I'm not one person to just talk about this. That's why I feel like Cindy has really brought up a topic that is just hitting home. And when, Gab was so excited about Michelle this, Michelle that, Michelle's my, she gets it. She's going to be a superstar. And then all of a sudden, what happened to Michelle, I'm just going to say it, life got in the way. She had her priorities. She had her job. And she said it last week when she had her call. And I said, babe, you know what? She's like, what can I do? What can I do? Because I just know that Michelle has it. She just understands it. She gets it. And I said, Gab, you know what? You just got to keep doing what you do. And it's just, do you, keep inspiring people. You're here to help people. And if Michelle's not ready, let her go. And, and she, just let her go, because you can't force somebody to do this business. This is a voluntary business. And from somebody who's in sales and from somebody who's been doing, who doesn't do what Gab is doing, I'm sort of on the outside in. Like I said, I'm a spouse seeing this. When Gab would reach out to Michelle and she's like, I got this, I got that, I got this. Life happens. It's normal. It just happens. So she's like, what do I do? And you can't do anything. Michelle's not ready. Michelle needs to just do her thing. And so she did. And then Michelle comes back. And correct me if I'm wrong if the way I'm saying this, but just from what I'm seeing, Michelle hits Gabby back up. And this is just me, and correct me if I'm wrong. You don't need to correct me, but I'm just saying this is me, my opinion. If Gabby would have just stopped doing this, Michelle either would have came back or would have went somewhere else. Meaning she would have went to somebody else, or she would have started her own thing. The thing is that Gab, every year, and it's only been 2 years, we've said just stay one more year. Stay one more year, because so much changes and happens in one more year. And then we have someone like Michelle, who's a rock star, comes back, and she's already a diamond. When she was that close to becoming a diamond, when she initially did this, Well, when she started this and then went away because life happens, we all have lives and we have families and we have problems, she left. And then Gab just kept on doing her thing. And then eventually Michelle found it within herself, wanting to come back. She brought Jamie back, or not back. She brought Jamie, which is a huge asset to the team. And I think that, you know, just seeing that, and once again, living it for the last 27 months with her, I just see that I tell everybody here, you know, just give it, you know, stay 6 months, give it a year, because nothing happens quickly. And then Michelle came back with gangbusters. She's like no holds barred. She did a call last week, or forgive me, last week or 2 weeks. And, you know, it's just a whole different person. And it's just like, you can't force people to do what it's not their time to do. And as long as you keep inspiring people and just trying to be doing what you want to do, this thing just organically is going to happen. And I'm happy to see Michelle back, because Gab, when she texts me back, say, oh, Michelle wants to talk or she wants to come back, she was thrilled, and I was happy for Gab because she's put a lot of time into this. So I just wanted to say that I'm happy that, Michelle, you're back, and I'm happy that you brought Jamie, you know, to the team. And this is huge, because that's living proof of what this longevity in this business and how this works out. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, I think, just in the spirit of transparency, I've been guilty of that. When life happens, it's easy for us to disconnect, for you to take out like the personal development, to not be engaged, to stop your invitation process. But when shit gets hard, you know, when the rubber meets the ground or the road, that's when you have to be in it, you know, even more, and saturate yourself, because we're like sponges. Either you saturate yourself with toxic stuff, or you saturate yourself with things that are going to make a difference and make you shine, you know. And I think that it's hard to realize that until it clicks. You know, once it clicks and you say, wow, look at what I've been doing to myself by not being engaged. But it comes down to discipline and consistency as well. You know, you're going to have to want it and find a way, because like other people that say, I want to lose weight, but I don't have the money, but yet they're doing things that, you know, where are your priorities? So only you can determine your priorities. But it's very easy, right, to give up. It's very easy when life gets in the way to say, okay, well, I'm going to sacrifice my business. Why? If we get up to go to work every day for someone else, why can't we do what's right for us and for our families? So I've been guilty of that. I told, you know, Gabby put me in check one time, and she said, I clearly always remember this, Cindy, because I also almost lost my job. You know, I didn't know where I was going to go, but, you know, I gave it to God, and I said, I'm not taking it back. And he provided for me, you know, and I'm at the point where with Unilever headcounts reductions, my role went. I had nowhere to go. They found me a hybrid role, and now they found me a permanent role, which I'm ecstatic about. And it's given me the visibility, a higher visibility to VPs, where I'm getting complimented, I'm getting acknowledged. So everything, problems, challenges, have their divine timing. They have a divine purpose. It's to position you where you should be. So I don't knock anybody's journey. I don't knock what I've done, because it's made me who I am now. And we live and learn, right? We fail, we get up, and we won't do it again. We won't trip over that same rock again. So to George, to your point, I can relate. But Gabby did say to me, don't forget why you're doing this business. You're stopping your invitation and doing what you have to do for a corporate job, which is the job you want to leave. So she had to put my perspective back into check, you know, so I'm grateful for that. And this is why we're one team, you know, it's to uphold each other. And let me tell you, I know other coaches who belong to other teams who don't want to be part of those teams. And I always say to them, come to my team, because I love my team. You guys have become my family. You're my support system, and I would never give you guys up.
And to close it, sorry guys that we went over, but this was such a great call. Such a great call. If you haven't watched the Summer Tucker, I'm gonna bump that up again as well. And I'm gonna give you guys an assignment. By Sunday, today's Thursday, so by Sunday, I want you to watch it and I want you to do her assignment at the end of the call. And, you know, I'm going to kick it off. Maybe someone else will beat me to it. That's fine. But it really boils down to finding your purpose and your why, right? But she starts off with consistency, and that's why, you know, I kind of brought her up earlier. So consistency, you know, and it's not like 3 months of consistency. You know, it's like you are in this for a year of consistency at least, right? And then finding your purpose and sharing that, right? So finding your purpose and then sharing it, being humble and sharing it with the world. So I know that many of you here know what my purpose is and what my why is, but I know that we also have new coaches on the team. So I am going to either go live on Team Admin, or I'm going to record a video and I'm going to share that. And I expect that everyone sees her video, comments on it with your takeaways, and then does that assignment. I don't care if you guys are shy or introvert, because I'm an introvert and I'm a social introvert actually. If I know you, then, you know, I'm comfortable and I'm chatty, but I don't care if you're shy. If you're shy, then record the video and then post it. If you're not shy anymore, then go live on Team Advent and share it. All right? Because I think that that's what's going to keep us accountable in this business. I want to push each other, because if we know what we're working towards, then we're going to push each other. When we get in those low moments, we're going to say, hey, Cindy, remember when you said X, Y, and Z? So that's what I'll close with. Thank you, Cindy, once again for tonight. It was an amazing call. Awesome. I am very ecstatic that I asked you to hold this call for us. You were amazing. Thank you, everyone who jumped on. And once again, my apologies for going over.
One last thing. 12 rounds, 3 minutes each, 1 minute break. At the most, 48 minutes. That is all.
Thank you for that. I'm going to have to like rewind this call to listen to that again. Or Jorge will repeat it. All right, guys. Have a great night.
All right, good night.
Thank you,
Bye.
Cindy. Thank you.
You're welcome.